everyone, welcome to our immune health call. My name is Alyssa Snyder and we have an absolutely amazing special guest tonight. I want to tell you first a little bit about her. She has worked for the last 10 years as an oncology nurse. She is one of the most passionate people I know. Her practice encompasses Eastern, Western, preventative, natural supplement approaches to health and wellness. She's been an avid supporter of the Plexus products and a user for over 4 years, and she wholeheartedly believes in what the company stands for and represents. The benefits her sister Michelle Kosicki has reaped from the use of these incredible products has been nothing short of miraculous. Currently, she's in the process of completing her master's degree in traditional Chinese medicine with both a primary focus on both herbology and acupuncture, and she will be a licensed acupuncture physician upon completion of her degree. She's a wife to Brady and a mother to her 5-year-old son Maxwell, and family is of the utmost importance to her. If you know her and Michelle Rusalesi, they're all like a little family unit. I just love to see how they operate. So she is here tonight to share with us and just give us all the expertise that she can give us to kind of prepare us for what we have going on. So without further ado, Denise Morales.
Thank you so much, Alyssa, and thank you so much, everybody, for coming on and listening. I know it's scary times, right? Everyone is feeling very overwhelmed. It's emotional. We're all kind of, what's going to happen? So what I figure I would do is like kind of start, I'm going to give you guys just a quick like 101 for the COVID-19. And then we're going to go into what we can do, what I'm sure a lot of you already have been doing, and just ways to keep us all relaxed, calm, and cool. So COVID-19. It's an RNA virus. It's a virus like any other virus. But the unfortunate aspect is the way it attacks the body. Now, most viruses, we already don't really have a lot of medications for viruses. The way a virus works, it goes in the body and it attacks a cell. It goes into the nucleus of a cell and it kind of takes over. And then what it does is it jumps to the next cell, jumps to the next cell, jumps to the next cell. So the most important thing that we can do for ourselves, because antivirals really aren't honed, it's very difficult to make them from a pharmaceutical aspect. The most important thing we can do is take care of our immunity, because what happens, finally, our body, our immune system mounts a response and says, hey, you're not moving to the next cell. So what the body does, the body literally has that one cell that's supposed to get hit next, boom, it's called apoptosis. It explodes, it dies, so that the virus has nowhere to move to next. So it's interesting in theory because kind of the whole social distancing aspect of what we're all doing right now in our society, it's very similar to how the virus works, right? Once we take a cell out, once we take a person out of that mix, it can't move the way it was moving before. So that's something that's really important to think about when we're thinking about social distancing. If you're not understanding it, it's the fact of if you take something out of the mix, that's one less person, because that one person is going to get affected, right? Then they're going to go to their house. They're going to affect their family. Their family's going to go somewhere else. And it's just going to keep multiplying and growing and growing and growing, and in a negative way. Okay. One thing to remember also about COVID-19 is it's a lipid-coated virus. Now, something important about that, MCTs, the MCTs, I don't know why I'm going blank. I think it's because I'm a little nervous. They die. The fatty chain triglycerides, medium chain triglycerides, excuse me. Look what happened, Alyssa. I'm getting nervous too. But those MCTs, like MCT oil, MCT powders, virgin coconut oil, not the refined coconut oil, but the virgin, all of those actually have the potential to kill this virus, because this virus is coated in that lipid bilayer. So those are things to remember. MCT, medium chain triglycerides. There it is. Medium chain triglycerides. So that's really going to help. Some signs and symptoms that you guys want to be watching for your family, for yourself, present like a lot of viruses. So one of the most important things to do is don't freak yourself out. Remain calm. Watch what happens, right? You could present with a fever, dry cough, sneezing, runny nose, some sputum production. But if you're hitting things like shortness of breath, lethargy, muscle pain, you're feeling really dehydrated, you really want to take that time and you want to rest, okay? Remember what I said in the beginning of the call. Your immune function, your body is your best line of defense. So if you're feeling run down, you're feeling cruddy or crappy, you don't want to keep pushing yourself. You don't want to move forward and be like, oh, I can do it. I'm going to do another load of laundry. I'm going to grab the kids. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Listen to your body and rest, okay? Rest, hydrate, okay? And keep your stress levels low. Another thing in terms of fevers, if anyone's experiencing a fever, a natural thing we can do, you want to avoid ibuprofen because ibuprofen is reacting very poorly to this virus. So avoid ibuprofen at all costs. If necessary, you can utilize Tylenol or aspirin. I would go with aspirin first out of those two, but also oils, bergamot oil and eucalyptus oil and also lavender are exceptional things that we can do. My son had 103 fever a few months ago. I rubbed bergamot oil with a little bit of olive oil. And at the end, girls, what I could do to Alyssa, we could go through and we could write this stuff down and I can make sure we communicate it with everybody. But a tablespoon of olive oil with some drops of bergamot oil, rub it on the soles of the feet, put a pair of socks on, you're good to go. Chest pain, the coughing, congestion, tablespoon of olive oil as well with some eucalyptus and also some lavender and some peppermint is very, very cooling. So those are nice natural things that we can do if we're having symptoms. Because listen, we are going to feel this way, right? Common colds, flus, even though the coronavirus is here and it's happening, that doesn't mean that the common colds, flus, other illnesses, other viruses still aren't here. So we need to keep ourselves calm. We need to listen to our body and our body will tell us, oh my goodness, something's really wrong. There's like a mechanism in the body that tells us. So then you run to the hospital if need be. But I can promise you as a hospital worker, the last place you want to be right now is in a hospital ER. So just listen to your body, okay? And again, I totally get it's easier said than done, but it is so important. It is so, so, so very important. So one thing we know, and especially all of us that have been involved with Plexus, what is the backbone to our health? A strong immune system and gut health, right? God bless Plexus because they know what they're doing. They know what they've been doing for many, many, many years. We want to continue, everyone continue with your probiotics, your vital biome. Those are like exceptional. Even taking the bio cleanse, an exceptional form, the magnesium. Our body, that's over 100 different enzymatic reactions occur because of magnesium, right? Our blood sugar. Keeping blood sugar under control is of the utmost importance when you have a virus or a bacteria, because blood sugar is just going to increase. It's going to cause inflammation and it's going to cause the body to respond and respond negatively. If our immune system is focusing on getting blood sugars down because that inflammatory response occurs, viruses are going to run rampant. Bacterial infections are going to run rampant. So keeping our blood sugar under control is hugely, hugely important. So things like obviously the Slim, the New Balance, doing things like that are really going to be helpful. X Factor Plus, hands down, amazing vitamin. I mean, the fact that it's methylated and has all the vitamins and minerals that we need, plus polyphenols, which I'll talk about later, all of those things, exceptional. The E's, considering the turmeric and the anti-inflammatory benefits, I mean, holy guacamole, that green lip mussel is great. So continuing to use those kinds of things as well, very important. If you feel a cough, if you feel uncomfortable, you feel yucky, you want to take it. That was one of the things back in the day. I am the horrible sufferer of cold sores. They're terrible. And I know the E's, the antiviral effects of the E's, always beneficial. So utilizing all the products are great. Side note for the kids, my Maxwell every single day, X Factor Kids, always. I give them one in the morning and one at night. You guys can choose what you like to include, but in terms of kids, these are the other two things I give Maxwell daily. Okay, these are good. It's a Yummy Bear. It's a vitamin C, so it's extra vitamin C, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and also the elderberry. So to keep the kids' immune systems functioning properly, that is huge. I give Maxwell literally one of each in the morning and one in the evening. Kid's healthy as a horse. He's just turned 5 last week and he's 4 feet tall. It's like, what's happening? But to get to things that we don't know, right? Or maybe we don't know. Things that are in our home and things that we could do for ourselves, okay? One of the most important things, vitamin C. One of the physicians that teaches at my school, who's an exceptional 40-year plus Western physician, and he believes he does Eastern practice as well, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, especially right now. 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C in the morning, 1,000 in the evening, every night, your whole family, okay? For the kids, it could be a little bit different because of their functioning. You'll notice if it's too much vitamin C, you could start to feel diarrhea, stomach discomfort, bloating. That's too much vitamin C can cause that. And we know because we utilize vitamin C to help with the die-off, right? With the Probio 5. But utilizing vitamin C is hugely, hugely important. So 1,000 milligrams in the morning, 1,000 milligrams at night. Foods that we could do that might be in your home right now, an orange, right? Any of the citrus fruits. We have orange, grapefruit, cantaloupe is actually very high in vitamin C. All your berries, strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, cranberry, but out of them, strawberries have more vitamin C than all the other berries. Vegetable-wise, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, all of the peppers, red, green, and yellow, and sweet potatoes. And one interesting fact about the peppers have 3 times more vitamin C than an orange. So we're all like, orange, yay. But remember, peppers, if you like peppers, snack on them all day because they're great for you. One thing I would recommend is trying to get organic. I don't recommend organic for all the things that we eat, but things like all your berries, your fruits, oranges not so much because they have a really thick skin, a really thick rind, so that's okay. But if you're planning on using the peel for anything, I would recommend definitely going with organic because the less chemicals we introduce into our body, especially now when our immune systems are being so taxed, because I'll tell you shortly, stress, on top of everything that's happening, stress is brutal. It's worse than any virus, any disease, anything that could come hit us. And I can promise you, I've seen it firsthand at work and at school. But we want to make sure we're doing all of these things, like I said, as organic as we could do, which is beneficial. I know it's pricey, but I always say to my husband, I would rather spend money on the groceries and the food that we're putting in our body than in doctor's appointments, medications, and surgeries down the line. So it's definitely worth it. With the vitamin C, extraordinarily important. I'm going to take some time to talk about this next. Vitamin A. Vitamin A. Now, if you can, I want you guys to try to find, normally it's a little tough to find 25,000 units. If not, you find 10,000 units, that'll do the trick. You'll just have to take multiples. But if you start to feel a little yucky, a little uncomfortable, like a little tightness in the chest or sneezing or a fever, immediately take 25,000 units of the vitamin A. Exactly 4 hours later, take an additional 25,000 units. If you can only find 10,000, which was all that I could find, and this was like 3 weeks ago, so now I know more people are learning about this, you could take the 30, you can take a little bit more, it's okay. But that vitamin A is amazing. It's also like cod liver oil is really what vitamin A is. It's very instrumental in cell growth and immune health and immune function. And what it does is it literally stops the replication of the virus. So remember what I told you guys, like it goes cell to cell and it's just building strength and building strength. And we have so many cells in our body, right? So it's just going to keep boom, boom, hitting cells. So this, if you take it early on enough, the vitamin A is going to stop the replication of the virus. one very important thing. You don't want to be taking 25,000 units of vitamin A every day. It is a fat-soluble vitamin. Therefore, what we don't use gets stored in our fat cells. So it can be very dangerous. You can look at issues of toxicity. So you are only utilizing the vitamin A if you're starting to feel a little bit funky. So a little under the weather, you take it once, 4 hours later, you take it again. The vitamin C, on the other hand, that's every day, twice a day, 1,000 in the morning, 1,000 at night. I want to give you a little bit more like nutritional stuff that you could do in terms of vitamin A. Vitamin A, things that you can eat, some things that most of us don't want to eat, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Liver, like lamb, beef, sausage liver. Liver is very, very rich in vitamin A. Don't worry, everybody, there's more options. Like I said, the cod liver oil you could do, they do have liquid cod liver oil. Mackerel, salmon, bluefin tuna, onto better stuff, goat cheese, feta cheese, cream cheese, some blue cheese. A hard-boiled egg is a great source as well. So even in the morning, waking up in the morning, having a hard-boiled egg and pairing that good protein with a complex carb. So like a bowl of blueberries, boom, right there, you are immune boosting your body because you're pairing a really healthy, good protein that is filled with vitamin A. And then you're also eating a complex carb, which helps with the digestion and it helps the body to utilize both the carb and the protein to its most effective sources, okay? Other vitamin A sources, we can get on to ones that are yummier, which I'm sure everyone would appreciate more than the ones I just told you, other than the cheeses, right? And this is going in order of the most vitamin A, like the daily recommended allowances, all the way down to the least. So starting at the top, sweet potatoes, winter squash, kale, collards, turnip greens, carrots, sweet red peppers. There we go. Red peppers are all over. Swiss chard, spinach, and romaine lettuce. So again, the top of the list, those are the ones that you're going to want to choose. And then fruit sources, mango, cantaloupe, grapefruit, both pink and red, watermelon, papaya, apricot, tangerine, nectarine, guava, and also passion fruit. So these, again, these are all really great sources. Another thing that we could do is some of these fruits or some of these vegetables. The first vegetables I named too, you really want to eat them cooked, like steamed, not cooked, because when we cook them, we kind of leach out the nutritive properties. But a quick steaming and then putting them in a salad is a great way to eat it, and then mixing it with good saturated fats. So like an extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, grass-fed ghee is great, avocado oil. Putting that on top of the salad is going to enrich the protective benefits of the vitamin A and also give you the saturated fats, because in my research, saturated fats is also something hugely involved with boosting our immune system. Let me see, we can actually talk about, oh, that's actually next on my list. Look how organized I am. I didn't even know it. So again, the saturated fats. So we talked about vitamin A, we talked about vitamin C. Also vitamin D paired with the A is really going to help boost the immune system. So things again like egg yolks, butter. When you're using butter, everybody, getting grass-fed or pasture-raised. This goes for butter, this goes for eggs, this goes for your meats, as much as you can. And I know it's really hard because it's more expensive, but getting all of these things, you're getting the best nutrients for your body. Now, I know it's rough, especially now because we're so limited with where we can shop, what we can do. One thing I saw, it was really great. I wrote it down. There's a resource and it's www.eatwild.com. Now, if that shows all over the country, local farmers markets, local co-ops, local places where you can get food that's locally grown, grass-fed, pasteurized, all that stuff, excuse me, not pasteurized, pasture-fed, all in your area. So the good thing is if you go on there, you can kind of know, are they open? Okay, great. I can go there with a, a mask on with some gloves, feel more protected and pick up whatever supplies you need. If not, this is for down the line, right? Because we can utilize all of these immune boosting things, but for the future, it would just be really good for everybody. All right, let's talk a few more things, everybody. And make sure you keep me on track with time, because I'll talk all day, Alyssa.
Oh, you're doing fabulous. I did have a question about the egg. Does it need to be hard boiled versus like scrambled or?
Hard boiled is your better bet. Yeah, they say hard boiled because the way that it cooks inside of the shell is going to give you the best benefit for the vitamin E, for the vitamin A, because it's a yolk. So yeah, it's the way that it's together. And that's another thing. It's very interesting. Cholesterol has a lot of uber protective benefits for the body. Cholesterol really is a protective mechanism where if there's any issue inside of our vascular system, our veins or our arteries, what happens is cholesterol goes and it's kind of acting as a Band-Aid over that, because most of our cholesterol comes from our liver. It's naturally produced there. So people don't really realize we're all so crazed about cholesterol. When you eating it isn't going to be, if we already have issues, it's going to continue to make it worse. So doing a lower cholesterol diet is definitely recommended. But when you're eating an egg, you're actually, in order to get the full benefit of the egg, the protein from the whites, and also you need to have the yolk and the white together. So I would recommend doing it that way. I'm going to double check because I'm pretty sure it's the hard boiled, but I want to just make sure and check my other source because it's across the room. But I'll make sure to let you know, but I'm pretty sure it is the hard boiled. I could be incorrect, but I'm almost positive.
Perfect. And you don't need to worry about time. If they want to hop off, then awesome. If they want to catch it later, like, this is fabulous information. So you just
good. That makes me very happy. Yes, good, awesome. In terms of saturated fat too, ghee. I don't know if you guys are really familiar with ghee. I just kind of started learning about it, and it's interesting because all it really is grass-fed, clarified butter. And what that means is it's butter that all the milk fats were taken out of. Now, this is, in terms of inflammation, healthy digestive tract, antioxidants, so like serious immune boosting benefits, ghee is like incredible. So it's interesting. I never even realized. I always loved Kerrygold butter. Like, that's the butter we use. It's grass-fed butter. It's awesome. You can make your own homemade ghee from that and utilize that in your cooking. It's exceptional. All you would do is take 2 sticks of Kerrygold butter. You would, on a medium heat, leave it over a medium heat for about 15 minutes. And like those milk particles will come to the top. You just scoop that out. And then you utilize what's left, you strain what's left, and that's your ghee. And the properties, like I said, for digestion, decreasing inflammation. It's a very powerful antioxidant, which we need across the board. It's hard. People always with cooking, what do I cook with? What do I don't cook with? You just want to make sure if you're using like a coconut oil, don't get refined. Anything that is refined, that means it's been chemically altered. So we don't want that. Anything refined, that even goes for your breads and stuff. You don't want refined wheat. You don't want refined pastas and stuff, because that means they went in and in order to make it last longer, they chemically altered it. That goes the same for when you see natural flavor on stuff. There's been some type of chemical alteration, even if it says like peach flavor or whatever. So we have to be very cautious with that kind of stuff as well. But in terms of the saturated fat, doing things like ghee, virgin coconut oil, believe it or not, we're better off using lard, like literally beef, chicken, duck fat, that fat, and cooking with that. That is actually for our body, our brain, our neurons, our myelin sheath is literally, it requires fat, that layer. So in order for us to be able to think and function, I mean, think, what does our brain do? Muscle movement, digestion, speech, everything. In order to have ourselves functioning at our best level, we need to have fat. So low-fat diets, or even trying to include like more industrial or refined oils like canola, sunflower, safflower, what? Safflower. Soy or corn oil, those, you like that, Baki? Those are not the best options. You want to use, like I said, the coconut oil, olive oil is amazing, or the lards. There was some great stuff I was researching, and there's a brand, I think it's called Epic, EPIC, and they have, you can find it at Whole Foods. They have all these different jars of these fats, and you can utilize it, and it's good for the body. It boosts the immune system. Antioxidants are so incredibly important. So utilizing that is going to be really, really helpful for all of us. So like I said, to continue to recap, vitamin A, vitamin C, those are our two powerhouses right out the gate. 1,000 milligrams vitamin C in the morning, 1,000 milligrams vitamin C at night. Then we want to keep vitamin A, 25,000 units on hand. I wake up, I don't feel good, pop them. Pop 25,000 units, 4 hours later, same thing. Then we want to do vitamin C regular, like our oranges or our red peppers, however we're going to do it. Vitamin D, again, pairs with A and is very good at immune boosting, and saturated fats. Some other stuff, bone broth. I don't know, any of you guys have the bone broth at your house, or if you even have bones left over, you know, you go out, you get a steak, you get whatever you're cooking, utilizing those, the bone broth is really, really, really good for us as well. I mean, even if you're just experiencing the common cold, it's great. It has marrow. It's going to help the body to produce blood cells. We need, when we're fighting anything, even when we get up in the morning to go through our day, the human body, what it does is it's absolutely amazing. It's this working, functioning electrical machine that needs to have the proper nutrients and the proper fuel to keep going. So doing bone broth, I mean, what do we have? 5 liters of blood. I think it's like every minute there's like 120 gallons of blood pumping through the heart, some crazy number like that. So having something like bone broth is really good for us. You can even put it in anything. You can make, you know, for sauces, for things like that, anything you want. Steaming vegetables, steam some vegetables in some bone broth, and then even keeping the broth later, maybe using that on the meat or using it as a soup later. That's going to be very beneficial. We already know fermented foods, right? It's very difficult to get the probiotic nutrients that we need through just eating, right? I'm a firm believer in that. People will argue and be like, no, I can get it from my food. And like, I get it. I get the mentality, but unfortunately our soil, our earth is not what it was intended to be to grow food in order to have our human bodies function the way that it's supposed to. So it's an impossibility. So supplementation is very important. And again, like I said in the beginning, Vital Biome, the BioCleanse, ProBio, like home runs across the board. But adding in things like fermented foods, right? One huge thing, sauerkraut or fermented pickles, literally 10 times the amounts of vitamin C than in a fruit or anything else that we're going to have. So that is really, really, really beneficial. And you want to make sure that it has not been cooked. It's just been fermented, and that no vinegar is in the ingredients label. It's not that vinegar is a bad thing, because it absolutely isn't. But what is bad is the vinegar will interfere with the fermenting process. So it won't have the probiotic. It won't have the normal function that it's supposed to. It's not going to be as powerful as it needs to be. So again, fermented foods, fresh garlic. Listen, I know it's going to be tough. Everyone's stuck in their house, and if everyone's eating garlic, it's going to be like burning each other's flesh off. But garlic, especially fresh garlic, is amazing. It is amazing. I recommend it. If you're going to eat it, have your husband eat it too, so it's all good. Then you can even mess with the kids. Sorry about their luck. But fresh garlic, it boosts immunity, a major immune booster. Anti-inflammatory properties, not only internally, but also externally for joint, you know, if you have aches and pains, joints, anything like that, you can actually rub garlic oil on the body. It improves cardiovascular health, which again, what's going to do? It's going to help the human body to function, because what do we need more than anything? Our heart, right? Antibacterial and also antifungal properties. So garlic is a definite must-have in the house. And listen, obviously fresh is best, but at this point, whatever you have in your home, utilize it. Whatever you have. My recommendation would be to when you're cooking or sauteing with it, just do it at a very, very low heat and take your time with it, because the faster we try to heat it and cook it, and I'm guilty of it too, I gotta get it done. So you cook it fast. We're actually cooking out the beneficial aspects of it, okay? Black tea, green tea, both absolutely awesome. Both are filled with antioxidants and polyphenols. One thing I would recommend, attempt to get like loose leaf tea, and also go for the plain flavors. I know it's hard because we all we go to the store and there's so many options and all the packaging looks beautiful, right? And it's like, oh, it must be healthy for me, it must be good. Again, there's a lot of deception in labeling, a lot of deception, unfortunately. So you find it a green tea that looks awesome, and it's peach green tea. Oh, great. And you turn it over and you look at the label and it's going to say natural peach flavor. Huge no-no. Again, natural flavor, it's a trick that unfortunately is allowed to be played on us instead of it people knowing that it's been chemically altered. It's been chemically altered. Michelle Baki-Rusalesi will tell you guys, LaCroix, we were big LaCroix drinkers for a while. And then I started to learn about 2 years ago about natural flavoring and the dangers of it. And we actually called the company and I asked them about it. And they were like, oh, well, we don't understand what you're asking. I'm like, well, it says natural flavor. Can you tell me what the flavor is? Oh, well, I don't know. And I said, well, is it that you don't know because you don't know, or you don't know because you're not allowed to talk because it's something that's altered? And he's like, whoa, and he got very strange and kind of got off the telephone with me very quickly. So it's just, you guys, we live in a world where information is right at our fingertips, right? So you guys all can get off and you could read and research, and it's an important thing to think about, because we try so hard to do good for ourselves, right? And we really have so many things against us, not just this crazy virus, it's everything, how we eat, how we breathe, what we do. So the more knowledge we have and the more we make sure we're getting it from reputable sources, the better choices we can make. So the black tea, the green tea, amazing. It's the polyphenols we know too, because again, awesome X Factor Plus. I love it. Everybody knows when I found out about X Factor Plus and the kids vitamin, I literally cried at the Plexus event. I was like, these are the greatest things, because it just makes me happy to know there's a company that's putting out what we need, because it's what we need. It's one less thing for me to have to do all the work to figure out, is this the best for me? Is this the best for my family? But the polyphenols, digestion, things with the antioxidant properties, again, like I said in the beginning, that's like huge right now. That's of the utmost importance. Things that also have polyphenols, cloves, cocoa powder, like the dark chocolate, those are great things. Berries, especially blueberries, black currants, artichokes, nuts like hazelnuts and almonds and walnuts. So these are all healthy things that you probably, or you may have at home that you can start eating now that's going to help your body. Another thing is red wine. So that's like a huge bonus for everyone. Polyphenols and some relaxation while we're all trapped. So that, yeah, nice. Another seed, speaking of nuts and stuff, pumpkin seeds, and you want to try to get organic. And if you can get organic and sprouted, that's even better, but that's not always the easiest. So at least organic. Pumpkin seeds are very high in zinc. Again, zinc, very, very, very important. Zinc is going to help the body. It stimulates enzymes. It's a trace element that's necessary in the body. We want to make sure we're getting this into our body. This is going to help regulate our immune function. It's going to help with infections, viral issues. It even helps like with cancerous cells developing and stuff. So zinc is something that's really, really, really important for us to get as well. And like I said, a natural source is pumpkin seeds. And I'm pretty darn sure that the zinc is also in, yes, it is. And it's 100% of what we need is in the X Factor Plus. So also, again, dietarily including it in our diet is a great thing to do. Let me see, my lovely friends. Oh, no, that's good. One thing too to kind of be wary of, this kind of came as a side note in my research. Coldies and emergency are both wonderful things, but we just want to kind of be a little cautious with our use of them because natural flavoring, sugar, and a lot of preservatives. So it's okay, like if we're doing it a little more sporadically, but just try not to have this be your go-to. Don't be like, oh my gosh, everything's going crazy. So to boost my immune system, I'm going to take a ton of emergency all day long, or the coldies, because those are things that could actually end up working against you, okay? Two more quick little things. Turmeric and ginger, both awesome for the immune system. Again, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. Actually, turmeric and ginger are very, very, very similar in the health benefits that they present to the body. They help neutralize free radicals. They're going to help with the immune system. They help with brain function. So doing these are great if you have turmeric at home. And I also know turmeric is in the E's, which, as I've said multiple times, is amazing in general. But if you're doing the turmeric with something, maybe like including black pepper, because black pepper helps for the absorption process. It gets pulled up into the bloodstream properly with black pepper added. So I want to close with just talking about a few little aspects of everything we've talked about. Nutrition, very important, right? Hydration, extraordinarily important. Keeping our immune system, our gut health, everything functioning properly. But we have to recognize the power that our own body, our own mind has on us, okay? What we feel, how we respond to events, the things that we decide to do during this crisis is going to dictate all of our outcomes. Getting really stressed out, and from a Chinese medicine perspective, which is where I'm getting my master's, and I see the benefit of the medicine, and I've learned to look at the human body from a totally different perspective, a perspective that has been around for over 2,000 years. And the difference, whether you believe in it or not, the difference is the way it looks at how our emotions, even like being too happy all the time, that's not good for the body at all. But stress literally, and even from a Western perspective, stress is a killer. Stress leads to most all diseases that present in the body. So getting our stress levels under control, finding ways for us to relax, for us to know it's going to be okay, for us to know, okay, this is really crazy and hectic, but how I respond is going to dictate how my wife or my husband responds. How I respond is how my child, my neighbor, my friend, my coworker. We right now this is like such an exceptional time. Like, this is unprecedented. We have the opportunity to be able to refocus ourselves and refocus what we do, how we do it, and how we respond, because we can keep ourselves healthy. We actually can make a difference. And it doesn't seem like it could be that simple, but it really could be that simple. So doing little tiny things, right? Like taking in breaths. One thing that I started doing, because when I found out one of the doctors from my school was infected, I mean, you guys have to, I was like, oh my God. Then I'm thinking, who have I been in contact with? Where have I been? Where am I in my 2 to 14 day incubation period? Like, how am I feeling? And literally within 1 hour's time, I probably had like 3 of the symptoms of the COVID-19 virus. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And I realized it did me no good. There was zero benefit for it. So what I did was I sat, and you can use any meditative device that you want. I'm not a meditator. My sister, Michelle, amazing, yoga, meditation. I've never been able to be that way. My mind is always not like super racy, but I don't sit quietly well unless I'm just going to sleep, which I don't have problems with at all. But I've noticed for me, a very easy meditation step is inhaling whatever positive thoughts, or inhaling, I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to get sick. Exhaling the thoughts of, I'm not going to be sick. It's not happening. So inhaling any positive thoughts, whatever you need to ground and center yourself, inhaling that, and exhaling whatever negative, positive, not good stuff that you're feeling. That's a great starting place. I've got myself up to almost like 5 minutes worth of being able to do that. And it's very, very calming. Doing things like FaceTiming friends, FaceTiming family, reading a good book, like just distracting yourself, sitting with your family, watching a funny movie, like just doing enjoyable activities, it's going to help. Keeping yourself calm is of the utmost importance. When you don't, everything goes to heck. We start to get headaches right over here in the temporal range and all this crazy stuff. So just keeping as calm as you can. And lastly, I'm going to read, and it just so happened right before the call, a friend of mine posted this, and I thought it was very worthwhile to share with everyone. It's called the mindset shift. So here we have the opportunity, right? What are we thinking? I'm stuck at home. So instead of thinking I'm stuck at home, think I get to be safe. I get to be safely in my home, and I get to be surrounded by people I love that love me, right? That's a huge mindset shift, right? Because then we could take it a step further and think about all the healthcare workers. Think about all the people working in grocery stores, the mailman, the mailwoman, all these other people, pharmacists, people who are out there. That is frontline. It's like wartime, really. So having that mindset, not I'm stuck at home. I get to be here. I get to be safe. I get to feel okay, right? I get to know that my family is safe. Another one, I will get sick. I will get sick. No, thinking I will isolate myself and those I love. I will wash my hands. I will rest. I will hydrate. I will eat well. I will laugh. All of those are ways to think I'm not going to get sick. You're not going to have it happen because you're going to do all of these things. Okay. Another one was I will run out of all the things I need during self-isolation. Okay. You could think, oh my gosh, in 2 weeks, I'm not going to have this. Or you can think, presently, I am totally prepared. I'm more than prepared. I'm fine. I'm in the now, and now I'm okay. I will worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes or next week comes. Because that's another thing we do as people. We focus all of our energy on tomorrow, next week, next month, one day at a time. There are days it's like 1 minute at a time, right? So just focusing that way. And then instead of thinking panic, I'm panicked, just think I'm proactive. We're all being proactive by staying home. You know, all the places that we need, any emergency place is completely available to you. Your hospitals, your pharmacies, your grocery stores, all of these places, and utilize the people around you, those that you care about, those that you love, even people who are strangers. We are all human beings. We are all in this together. So I think approaching it with that type of a mindset and with a sense of calm, I think that's going to be our best bet. So,
absolutely. Oh my gosh, do you guys feel like your brain just like exploded with all that information? Oh, but such good info. I mean, I was thinking while I was on the call of things that I had. I mean, I literally have MTC oil like here that I put like in my shakes.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm gonna start putting it back in my shakes.
Good.
And also, Michelle Rusalesi was so amazing while we were on here. She kept saying like the things that you were listing. She was like, "There's black pepper and metaburn, and there's turmeric and ease," and like she kept writing all the good stuff.
Good.
Also, the carrier oil in our hemp oil that you can get.
Oh yeah, I still need to order. Silly me.
Is an MTC oil. So Michelle, thanks for all those goodies that she posted at the same time. She was kind of going through. Yeah, so Michelle and Denise are like amazing resources. Girl, I just cannot tell you how much it means to me that like you came on the call and like shared all these goodies, because I know all of us right now are a little scared, and just for you to like share this info with us, it really, really kind of puts our mind at ease and gives us an empowering thing that we can do to help ourselves feel better. So,
of course. Oh, thank you. Alyssa, it's my pleasure.
It was amazing. And then like ending it with kind of manifesting like your, I think is fabulous. So yeah, I really, really appreciate it. And we will see you soon. So
all right, girl. God bless you guys.
Let's get that list like put together so that we can kind of write it out because I know I was taking notes and writing all this good stuff.
Yeah, of course. I have like pages of stuff in front of me. At one point, I'm like, I'm getting confused. So yes, actually, I'm so glad you said that because I busted out one last little page of notes.
Oh.
Very quick, other immune boosting vegetables: beets, broccoli, radishes, zucchini, and celery. All huge immune boosters, especially the celery. It's amazing. But all of them: beets, broccoli, radish, zucchini, and celery.
Ooh.
So there you go. It was like a random, my little
celery
page of
hummus
notes.
while we're sitting in quarantine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, girl. Well, thank you so much for being
Oh,
here.
you're welcome.
And we will post this recording a little bit later, but thanks, girl. Truly.
Oh, you know it. You know, everybody stay safe. We're going to all be okay. We're going to make it happen.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Good night.